For this week, you have 2 assignments, and the 2 assignments are similar. They're just on different chapters. So it's Learning Through Discussion Chapter 2, and then you'll have another one called Learning Through Discussion Chapter 3. They are asking the same questions. They're asking you to do the same thing with each chapter. So you'll have this same video posted in each assignment description. So you're going to you can either look in the document here, which will separate everything for you to type in your answers. You can use this document. Actually, I prefer you use this document to type your answers. However, those same questions are listed here. So we're just going to use this information to discuss it for the purposes of the video. But please know this form here is what you should use to submit your answers. So for the first question, in these 2 chapters, Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, there are going to be probably many words and phrases that you're unfamiliar with. So what I want you to do is I want you to look up at least 5 of those and write down the definition. When you do that, I want you to be sure that you cite the source and use your textbook to provide those definitions when possible. So I don't want you to Google the definition. I want you to try to find it within your textbook. Then in your own words, I want you to write down your version of a general statement of the chapter's message. Your response to this question should be a minimum of 2 to 3 sentences and a maximum of 5 sentences. So you don't want anything too extensive, but you want it to be enough that I know you understand what the chapter is about. Then number 3, that's a 2-part question. So I want you to first note 3 ideas that spark your imagination for further discussion. Then I want you to compose a question for each of those 3 ideas that could be used to begin a discussion for each topic area of interest. So these are questions like you would pose to a group, not questions you would create for a test or an exam. Then you want to make sure that when you note your 3 ideas that you briefly discuss them. So for this question, you're going to name the 3 ideas, briefly discuss each one in 1 to 2 sentences, and compose a question that can be used to begin a discussion for each of those 3 ideas. Then for the 4th question, you're going to summarize and look at the meaning or usefulness of the chapter as far as understanding concepts you're learning through the curriculum. So this, again, is something you're going to need to look at all the parts of the question. So you're going to think of 3 specific things you have learned in various courses that you've completed thus far in the program. Then you're going to explain how those 3 ideas that you identified from your previous learning are substantiated, contradicted, or amplified by this chapter. So if there's a concept that you learned in your Role of the OTA course that is spoken about in this chapter or in Chapter 3, you might list that idea or that piece of information, and then you're going to state whether or not the reading gave you more information about it, contradicted it, or just confirmed it or substantiated it. Then for number 5, you're going to state what implication you imagine the content in this chapter has for your own future professional experiences. So how will this information that you gain from reading this chapter help you as a future OTA? So once you think about that, I want you to then provide your answer to this question by giving 2 examples. And I want you to be specific with the examples as far as how this information can help you in the future. As always, when you're looking at an assignment, you need to make sure that you're looking at the rubric. The rubric is going to tell you exactly what it is I'm going to be looking for when I'm doing the grading. So just make sure you review that and let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I look forward to reading your 2 submissions.